still not sure if we should use this in the video.
Not sure. I don't think so.
You don't think so? Welcome to Razz My Berries. I'm Ryan.
I'm Crystal.
And if you couldn't tell from the major hint from the beginning, we went to go see Alpha today. Hence why we started with a picture of a wolf that we took from our honeymoon. It's probably our favorite picture out of the entire honeymoon.
Oh, yeah.
But, so we got that in Colorado. We went to a wolf sanctuary in Colorado, and it was an amazing experience. We got to interact with lots of different wolves. There were certain rules we had to follow because at nature they are still animals with, wolf instincts.
Yeah.
I guess is the best way I can put it. So with that said, let's now focus on actually the movie.
Yeah.
I went in thinking I was really nervous because when it comes to these kind of movies, when there's ever an animal involved, or whether it be a dog or a cat, I'm always sitting in the seat begging, please do not kill off the animal. Please do not kill off the animal. It's one of the reasons why I hate Old Yeller.
Yeah.
But I went in not really with any expectations, and I came out emotional. Let's just say I came out a bit emotional. I suppose we should warn for spoilers, because we're probably going to get into spoilers. So since we're talking about spoilers, maybe you should click away so you can avoid the spoilers. And if and Crystal's looking at me wondering why I'm saying spoilers so many times, and so I'm giving plenty of time of people to click away if they don't want to be spoiled.
Very nice.
Okay, that's enough time. I'm going to say right now, the wolf does not die. Thank you for doing that, because if you did, I would be very angry, and this video would be starting out very differently.
Yeah.
So I say let's go with the highlights first, or initial thoughts, reactions, I guess. What did you think?
I thought it was very good overall. Like, the story was really good. I'm not sure how historically accurate it was, but I still felt
it's
brought
debatable,
out.
I guess.
Yeah, it's debatable. But I think that it brought out the feels really well on it. Definitely the feels and how kind of man's best friend and
the whole relationship.
Yeah.
I mean, that was the whole marketing with the film. I loved the first trailer when we saw it in theaters, because there was there was not much dialogue, and you were getting most of the figuring out puzzling the story together. But then they came out with a second trailer, and I really didn't like it very much.
I wasn't big on it.
On the second trailer, because they had a narrator, and it felt like a 90s kind of film where it's like, go explore, go watch the story and learn about how the relationship of man and best friend was formed. It's like, really don't.
We're trying too hard.
I don't really need the narration. I kind of got that from the first trailer. You don't really need to spoon feed it to me.
Yeah.
But those were the trailers, and one thing that you talked to me after we walked out of the theater, you were kind of surprised that there was a lot more speaking than you thought there would be.
Yeah.
And I'll admit I was a little bit surprised too, because I thought it was going to be interesting how much dialogue are you going to get into a movie like this? Because and they did a smart thing. They used a language that I didn't know, because this movie takes place. We forgot to play our game.
Yeah.
Okay,
we can do that next.
Well, I mean, we basically kind of already said it.
Yeah.
We already said the basic of the plot of the film was the relationship of man and wolf/dog was formed.
Yeah.
In very few words.
Yeah.
Really gonna have to fix to make sure to put those in at the beginning. But anyway, I digress. as I was saying, most of the dialogue came from the lead actor.
The lead actor, yeah. Mostly.
Cody, I think his name was.
Cody.
No, I'm talking about the actual actor, not the character. The character was Keta.
Keta, yeah.
And the actor's name was Cody. I'm pretty sure, but there was, I don't know what language they were using, but it takes place
in
20,000 years ago in Europe.
Yeah, in the European area. But
and,
yeah, I think it was kind of a very old European dialogue that they could have.
I don't know, but I mean, I'm honestly, we were debating on whether we're going to get this on DVD because I kind of want to get it on DVD just for the sake of watching like how they made the movie.
Yeah.
Because I'm really curious of how they did some of it, which goes into our first highlight, which the most enjoyment I got out of it was the scenery. The cinematography in this movie was absolutely beautiful. Beautiful visuals, beautiful like when they had the night scenes and you could see the sky and how many stars you could see. It was just breathtaking, and there was beautiful, breathtaking scenery like this. It looks like our Earth, but it looks like it took place actually that long ago. And I was really, really impressed by that.
I liked when they were kind of doing the I'm not sure if that was their way of like doing tattoos or something when they did like
the marking. That's an old form of getting tattoos. I've seen some YouTube videos on that. Like they knock it in and they make a permanent mark on the skin, and I thought, that's really cool.
Like how they referenced one of the dippers.
Yes, the way to find your way home. And that's another thing I guess we could have added to the plot of the story. He's trying to find his way home, and the wolf helps him, basically. But, yeah, there was a lot of good things about the film. I'd say because it was very different. It's not, again, not a usual movie I'd go to. Because if you and I know, we go mostly to the superhero movies and the action movies. And there, not to say that there wasn't much action in it. It was like it was a survival film.
Yeah, it was a survival type of film.
It reminded me of, I've never seen it though, but it reminded me of, I think it was called The Grey with Liam Neeson.
Yes.
Something like that.
Yes.
And then, I mean, there are so many movies like this where boy gets separated from home, civilization, something like that, and has to survive. This just happens to be taking place in ancient times. And I really thought the story overall, like you said, was enjoyable. There were times, it was quiet. And I don't know if I was getting bored or just or maybe it was just, I was feeling tension, possibly. Because with a story like this, there isn't much, there isn't going to be terribly a lot of action. There's no villain. The villain, if there's any antagonist in this for our protagonist, it is just nature. So, but yeah, I think the actor himself did a very good job with, portraying that he was scared. And one thing I remember from the trailer when we saw him get knocked off the cliff and then wake up on the ground, it was there's no way he survived that. And then they showed how he did.
Yeah, there was a big difference with that, which I was surprised because I originally thought he was gonna
all the way to the ground, but no, we find out there's enough room of the edge, and he was still clinging at first when he first fell, and then he fell down further, and there was a little ledge, enough ledging to where he could be okay. And it's okay, thank you, because I was gonna say, if you're gonna tell me he fell all the way down that, there's no way. You lost me. There's no way he survived that. But yeah. Also, there was another thing, though, that kind of bothered me. Can that much rain really fill up that quick?
Well, in ancient...
I mean, I don't know. I'm not an expert.
I know, that's what I'm saying. Like, it's possible because everything was kind of abnormal then.
True.
In a sense. So it could be possible because there are times where the rain, like flooding, you know, it could have been enough rain to cause flooding because of the fact that there were, you know, they were in kind of he was in a kind of a cavern type area, which would cause it.
Okay, fair enough. Let's go a little more now with some of the problems with the film, I'd say. They use some CG. Obviously, they're going to have to use CG because you're not going to be able to get all those animals. I would have to say there were various parts where you could tell it was not very well done. And I was telling you on this way in the car, the part where Alpha, which is the name of the wolf, he calls him Alpha, which we find out actually it's not a him, it's a her. We find out that there's some boars in this over there, and then the wolf goes chase him, brings the boar back, and then that particular shot was probably the weakest of the CGI in the entire film because it did not look like the boar or the wolf, for that matter, was not there.
Yeah,
it looked really bad, and that was the lowest point. The CG for the wildebeests or bison.
Yeah, bison.
The bison.
Yeah.
The bison, I thought it was okay. It still was kind of clear to me because I've seen so much CG. I can tell the good and the bad.
Yeah.
But it was, I'd say, okay.
Okay.
Some of the CG on the wolf was good, and I think that's probably why the CG on some of the other shots were not very well done, was because they were spending a lot of time with the CG on the wolf. Which we find out the wolf's name, that played Alpha, the character, was the wolf. They called it Chuck.
Yeah, that's
in the credits, and
I'm not sure if they did that on purpose. If like the dog was actually male and they were trying to show that it was female.
Well, because
or you know what I mean.
Yeah, spoiler for the ending. And of course, if you see the second trailer, you kind of guess it. Honestly, the wolf has pups, so. Maybe it's not really much of a spoiler that the wolf is actually a female. But, I mean, I felt like maybe the pacing was a bit slow.
I thought it was just right, other than this one area scene where the wolf said, you know, basically gives warnings to him, being like, you know, no, stay away from me, and then suddenly they become friends.
Oh yeah, so yes, that was one thing that when I was like debating on whether we should go see this or not, I was looking without trying to get spoiled certain reviews, and one of the critiques on it was saying the transition from I'm a wild animal, I'm a wild wolf, to I am now your friend. I'm a domesticated dog basically now. It felt a bit rushed. Like, I mean, we interacted with some of these with wolves, and certain enclosures we were told certain things, like, you know, remember the first enclosure we went into, we had to go in and do not interact, like try not to interact, wait till we get to this certain point, and then you can do that. So
or not to squeal if like they get up on your shoulder trying to
try
get
not
the
to
treat.
Squeal. Yes. Because they're a wild animal, and you still have to be cautious with that. I felt like if it felt with the relationship building that they were doing, it felt like Keta. I feel bad if I'm pronouncing the name wrong, but he felt like he was trying to take, you know, the dominant side. Like, I'm the dominant, you follow me, basically. And he was doing that, like, because with wolves in their hierarchy, you have to show strength. And like his dad was saying in that one scene, if you show weakness, they will take advantage of it and challenge you. So he was assuming the alpha role, like, I'm in charge, because he was saying, no, I'll tell you when to eat, when you get to eat. And it's the same thing with the wolf pack. The alpha and the higher members will eat first, and the others have to wait. If they try to get in, the alpha retaliates, and of course then they'll submit. by lowering themselves, doing submission.
Mm-hmm.
So, but other than that, was there any other things that felt off to you? Kind of.
It seemed to pace really nice for me, mostly, because I don't know how to point out the CG, of course.
Yeah.
But that scene probably was the only one that kind of stood out to me the most. Otherwise, it seemed that pacing was good. The actor reacting to his journey from point A to point B, and such. So.
No, I'm just glad they actually did have an actual stand-in for the wolf to have, because it makes it harder for the audience to know, was this the CGI wolf or is this the or the real wolf?
Thinking about it now, I do remember the one point where I kind of questioned when they found the tent, the
first tent.
The lone tent.
With the guy who was frozen to death?
Yes, like the fact that he was sitting there, you know, I would be like, if he was lying on the ground and frozen, that'd be fine. I'm not really sure if I believe the whole sitting up kind of thing.
Well...
But the fact that, you know, he had few supplies and not any food in his tent. Like,
Well, I mean, yeah, that's a little... I mean, it's possible, I guess, if he was sitting at just the right position... Eventually, I guess your body... I don't know. I've never been frozen before. I was frozen today!
No.
To that degree. But I guess if you're that cold and your body freezes up that much, I guess it could stay theoretically in position. I don't know. I mean, I think it's a fair criticism, maybe. But, I mean, if he was holding himself up... again, if it's the right positioning, frozenness... If you're frozen solid, I think you would kind of...
Well, you wouldn't necessarily freeze right off the bat. You would fall. You would get tired.
Well, that's what. Didn't you notice his eyes were closed?
Yes,
because he fell asleep, and that's what happens because they say like when you are freezing to death, eventually you feel tired and you want to go to sleep, and they say don't do that. Try to stay awake.
Yeah.
Because if you fall asleep, you're more likely to die of frozen.
Yeah.
In a frozen state. So
anyway, that's.
I think it was an interesting choice at the beginning of, you know, showing the hunt with the bison and then cut back to a week earlier and then do what they did, like replay the scene but like chop it up so much. Like, you know, black shot, this happens. Black shot, this happens.
I think they did too much with that,
Did you feel that way too?
Yeah.
Too many black shots? I think they could have cut that down a bit to a little more.
They could have cut it down to when they were running and then the bison was running and then them clashing and then the boy falling off.
Yeah, because you showed us the scene already, the entire scene without any cuts at the beginning. I mean, it's an interesting choice. Mm-hmm. I
thought it was good until
I think they
did it
until they did it a lot. I felt like it was a little too much of cut, and then I think you could have started from the camp. I think if you would have just added an additional scene, maybe, of it, explaining that, okay, we're about to go hunt the bison.
Well, and when they said, like, a week earlier, how were they able to kind of tell time in there?
Well,
you know?
It's for the audience here. It's not for them. It's
I'm
for them! An audience, not for them. Stop nitpicking. But, so yeah, anyway, that's all the negatives, I guess, if we want to get out there. But like I said, some of the positives of it, definitely the highlight was the cinematography, the scenery. All that was beautiful. So going further into more positives, this film did a great job of working on our emotions. Mm-hmm. I'm not afraid to admit that maybe I'm a little too attached to animals, because I've seen human death scenes and I'm not feel. I mean, I watched the Avengers: Infinity War and I did not shed a tear at that ending. I mean, I was sad, but I didn't shed a single tear. But when it came to, like, whenever the wolf got hurt in the film, I was tearing up, and then at one point you feel like, oh my gosh, they're going to kill the wolf. The wolf is going to die. I had to fight back my tears in the theater because I felt like I was going to break down and cry really hard, and she picked up on that, and she had to comfort me and like hold my hand, and I had to breathe, and I had to make sure I did not bust out in tears.
Yeah.
In the theater.
Yeah.
Because I don't know what it is, but I simply just, I'm a huge animal lover, and I just hate to see any animal get hurt. And the fact that the wolf was whimpering and all that, it did not help. It was like, no, it's so sad. Don't be hurt. But there was a lot of good tension. Like, oh my gosh.
The silence at some parts.
I mean, I knew deep down, I know he's going to survive. I know he's going to get home. But as I'm watching it, I couldn't help but feels like, Jesus, he not going to make it? Like, is he going to get home and then all of a sudden he's going to die? Because we saw him, like, coughing up blood and stuff. It's like, oh, man, is he not going to make it?
Yeah.
Is he going to be found dead? And so I give it props to that because, walking in, I kind of, know what's going to happen. Because with these kind of stories, you can guess what's going to happen. So anytime they throw something a little bit like that to keep you to second guess yourself, that is to be commended. And I'll say, like with any film, if you can get me to feel any kind of emotion with a film, you're doing something right.
Yeah.
Of course, having a wolf, I'm a bit biased. It's gonna be easy for me to pull this. It's gonna be easy for you to pull at my heartstrings when you have a dog or any animal in there. Though you did a good job with the rabbit thing. Survival of the fittest.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, what about you? Any other positives?
I overall enjoyed it. You pretty much
covered it.
You covered it, yeah.
With the feels.
Yeah.
All that. But yeah, no, I mean, you can be very nitpicky. I can understand, like, maybe more nitpicks of people who might not like it. I can see some of the other things in there. Mostly, like, I think the biggest thing that hurts the film, and for a lot of people, I think, who are going to be going in, like, trying to be the realistic thing, they're like, there's no way that wolf, the moment that wolf got the thing off its nose so it could open its mouth again, it would have gone right after him. And not to say, I mean, it could have happened. I could see that, but,
or he could have ran.
Yeah, she could have ran away. But the thing with wolves are like a lot like people. They have their own personalities. So for story's sake, yes, they got a wolf who has a personality that worked well with the human counterpart. And I think what they were going for is that the wolf could pick up, like, the humans trying to help her and survive. So, I mean, a relationship between a person and their pet, they also did a really good job with that theme. Because as they were birthing the wolf pups, like, you are now part of our tribe. And for pet owners, like you and I, and for pet owners out there, this is kind of your film. Like, if you're a huge dog lover, this is your kind of film. Because you are going to... I mean, when we got home, I just wanted to go see Macy and hold her. Because I love her so much. But yeah, no, a bond between owner and pet is more than just owner and pet. They're your family.
Yeah.
And that hit that theme really well. So with all that being said, now we're going to take a look at some of what people on Twitter are saying about the film. Okay. With the hashtag. And nobody used our hashtag. So I'm going to take a look at the hashtag for Alpha movie and see what some people were saying. Okay, we'll start with Scott Menzel at the other Scott M. He says, I realize that the trailer for Alpha do very little to attract an audience, but trust me on this one. It is really well done. It is one of the biggest surprises of the summer, and I'm beyond impressed that they created an entire language just for the film. Oh, well, there's our answer for one of the questions I had. What language they use? So this guy must maybe there was some kind of featurette online saying
Maybe.
how they created the language.
Maybe.
So, well, thank you, Scott, for that. Even though you didn't tweet at us. Let's see what else was said about it. Okay, Rolling Stone, a tweet from Rolling Stone says, Alpha is more than just your run-of-the-mill prehistoric boy meets wolf tale. It's also a genuine awe-inspiring epic. I would agree with that.
Mm-hmm.
We'll read a few more, and then we'll give our final verdicts. I can't believe... this is from Dr. Christine. I can't believe I just saw a movie where every word spoken came out of my head. Okay. Oh, maybe she must have been... hashtag Bima... A million thank yous to director Albert Hughes and producer Andrew Rona for trusting me. Oh, with this work. Oh, so this person, she actually worked on the film. She's the one who created it.
Nice.
Wow, well, Dr. Christine, I can tell you this. Very well done. I actually enjoyed the unique language. Mm-hmm. So, because it definitely sold an authentic feel for it. So, good job to you. Sorry I messed up reading your tweet. If you're even watching this. Oh. Donna, at Donna
Donna CQ.
Donna CQ. Sorry. I doubt you're watching this either. But she says, I can't see Alpha if Wolf dies in the end. So I'm seeing this movie or not. Well, if you are actually watching this, no, the wolf's not dead, so you can go see this. Though you probably will leave in tears like I did. All right, well, that's pretty much it then. So it's time for final verdicts. Crystal, you give your score first.
Okay, can I give point something for it or?
It has to be. If you're gonna give it a point, it has to be 0.5.
Okay, 4.5.
4.5 out of 5. Wow. I would have to say, well, any reasoning behind that? Usually we give a little bit of a reason.
Mostly, the plot's still really good. Of course, there were some tidbits here and there, but overall, I think it was very good. They really did a good job on it.
Yeah, I'd say that's a fair score. I don't honestly feel comfortable giving it a 4.5. To be quite honest, because there were some, and maybe if I rewatched it, maybe I would give it that, but I feel more comfortable giving it with a 4 because, again, some of the CG took me out of it a little bit. Some of the scenes, like some of the pacing, some of the choices that they made, I didn't kind of agree with how they were telling the story. But overall, yeah, the story was very good. It felt like an old-fashioned campfire story. A nice little, maybe this is how it happened kind of story.
Yeah.
For how the relationship between man and wolf became leading to being what we have now as our dogs. So, that's it.
So 8.5 out of 10.
So a total of 8.5 out of 10. Yeah, that's right. 8.5 out of 10.
Yeah.
So yeah, if you feel like you want to go see it, I recommend it. We went to go see it in matinee because again we weren't entirely sure. But yeah, go see it. Let us know your thoughts after you see it. Use the hashtag #AfterBuriedCredits to tell us what you thought of the film. Or of course you can always leave a comment below to tell us your thoughts on the film. Be sure to, if you like the video, click that like button. And if you want to subscribe, there will be a subscribe icon somewhere, or you can just click the subscribe button. If you want to watch another one of our videos, click wherever I decide to put the video link. Well, I think that covers everything. Did I sell myself all right?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, bye.
Bye.